Alright, we got another gas puzzle here, genuinely approachable Sudoku. This one's called Position Sums by Clover. I just had to watch a little bit of the video to figure out what the rules meant, and I think I got a grasp on it now. So normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, column, and 3x3 box is going to need to have the digits 1 to 9 in them. And then also we have this wild rule set that brings all these numbers in the gray area into play. So the topmost 2 digits in each column or the leftmost 2 digits in each row are A and B. So that's referring to, so in the column it would be these two, so this is A, this is B, and for a row this is A, this is B, for example. So this would be A, this would be B, this would be A, this would be B. So like these two columns for the rows are A and B, and these two rows for each column are A and B. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll further explain it as we go through the numbers here. So the clues immediately adjacent to the grid tell you the sum of A and B. Okay, so now I can kind of give you an example. So 9 means that this cell plus this cell equals 9. So we know that these two cells have to add up to 9. The 17, these two cells have to add up to 17. The 13, these two cells have to add up to 13. And then it goes on to explain that the next column out, so these numbers out here, give the sum of the A-th and B-th digits. So that's more confusing, I think. So if this was, these have to add up to 9. So say this was a 4 and a 5, then this 10 would be referring to the 4th and 5th sum in the box. So since this is 10, these two squares have to add up to 10, which would make this a 9. This doesn't have to be true at all. But so since these two numbers were 4 and 5, then the 4th and the 5th numbers in the column have to add up to 10. Weird rule set. I'm going to try to work through this. I understand it now. Hopefully it'll make more sense as I go along if you're a little confused, but definitely a pretty crazy set of rules here. But let's see what we can do. All right, is there any? Okay, so 17 is interesting. This has to be 8 and 9, which means that the 8 and the 9th digit have to add up to 9. So that's a huge. Okay, so A and B in this are 8 and 9. Because that adds up. That's the only way to make 17. And then we know that we don't know the order yet, but either way, the 8th and the 9th digit are going to have to add up to this sum, so that these two have to add up to 9, which could be interesting. We do have a 4 and a 5 in a row. It's not going to be able to be 8 and 1, so we're kind of limited here. It's going to have to be 2, 7, or 3. I'll fill these in. So 3, 6, or 2, 7. We've already got a 7 here, so this can't be 7, this can't be 2. We already know that, because these two cells have to add up to 9. So we're making a little bit of progress here. Alright, so this 4 and this 3 are telling, and since we already have a 1 here, we know that the sum here has to be 4, so this one has to be a 3. We know that the sum here has to be 3, so this has to be a 2. Which is super helpful, because now we know we don't have these clues for this row though. And this wouldn't make I guess it would, so 1 and 2 would just reflect back, I don't know, whatever, not that important. So that's good information there. We got 1 and 2 here, so 13, so these are gonna have to be pretty big. Can't be 9, so it couldn't be 9 and 4. Could be 5 and 8, or 7 and 6. 5, 8, 7, 6. 5, 8, 7, 6. All right, I'll fill those in. 5, 8, 7, 6. I'm guessing that. So this can't be. This is the 6th box in the. This is the 6th box in the row. Oh, and they just had to add up to 5. So I guess that's possible. I don't know. Forget that train of thought. All right, so 10 here. So this has to be a 6, because we already have one of the numbers. So these two digits have to add up to 10. This has to be a 6. That makes this not a 6, which is going to eliminate the 7 from here, because they have to add up to 13. So now we have 6 and 4. So the 4th box, which is right here, and the 6th box, which is right here, have to add up to 8. and we have 7, 4, and 6 all eliminated. So I think that probably makes this 3, 5. Yeah, these have to be 3 and 5. There's a 3 here, which is going to fix this, I think. This is going to be a 3. This is going to be a 5, because these two boxes, since these two boxes had to be 6 and 4, we look at the 6 and the fourth box in the row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 6th box in the row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these two boxes are going to have to add up to this number, so they have to add up to 8, and the only way to make 8 is a 7 and a 1, a 6 and a 2, or a 3 and a 5. And so it had to be a 3 and a 5. We have a 3 here, so this had to be a 5, this had to be a 3, and that was fixed. Hopefully that logic makes sense. Alright, what else we got here? Sudoku might be getting pretty close to happening. We do have some digits, but alright, so these two have to add up to 9. That's not very limited. These two, okay, we have another digit here. So this has to add up to 10. This is a 4. 4 there. And then we have a 4 and a 6 again, and this time they have to add up to 3. So this is a 2 and a 1. So this is a 1, this is a 2. Nice. We have another little diamond inside of our little diamond. This is an interesting pattern we have going on here. Very pretty. Extremely pretty. So I don't think we have any more numbers in front of these clues. Right, so that was nice that we were able to fill in these automatically when we had like a 4. When you have one of the two numbers and they give you the number, you know that it has to sum to 10, so this had to be 6. What else is going on here? I know that one of these two has to be a 3. I might just do that. So we have some Sudoku stuff that we can probably do. I might just start doing that. Alright, so 3, 3. One of these two has to be a 3. 3, 3, so one of these two has to be a 3. 3, 3. I don't think that's going to do anything for us. 3, 3. Okay, so one of these two has to be a 3 as well. So that means that the 3s are done for these two columns and for these two boxes, which means that, alright, well, one of these two, yeah. Alright, so one of these is going to have to be a 3. Alright, I think I was seeing some 1 stuff. Alright, we have 1 in one of these boxes. 1's going to be in one of these boxes. I think that's about it for the 1 so far. None of these, like 10 and 9 are both like really uninteresting as far as sums goes. 4 is not uninteresting. I should have addressed this before probably. So this 4 is telling us that this has to be 3, 1. That's the only way to make 4. So this is a 3 and a 1. That's already fixed because we have a 1 and a 3 up here. So this is a 1, this is a 3. That makes this a 3 because we were doing 3, 1 things before. Nice. Cool. Should have seen that earlier. This now can't be a 3. We're really narrowing down these. So that means this can't be a 6. So 4, 9. For some reason this tells me that this is going to be... Oh, the 4 could be interesting because the only way to make 4 is 3, 1. So I think this probably... It has to include this box. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Tricky logic there. So the sum, there's a sum in this row that's 4, 1, right? We know that 2 of the cells in this row have to be 4, 1, and the first 2 cells are going to tell us which cells add up to 4. So whatever, and these 2 cells have to add up to 9. So we've got a bunch of options that could add up to 9, right? But we need this 3 that we have in the row now to add up to 4. We're going to need a 3 and a 1 to add up to 4. So this is the 5th slot in this row, right? This is the 5th box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these boxes is going to have to be a 5, which means the other one has to be a 4. We don't know which order they go in yet. Yes, we do, because there's a 4 here. So this has to be a 4. This has to be a 5. And the 4th box in the row has to be a 1 because these 2 boxes have to add up to 4. Wow. Okay, now this is a 1 by Sudoku, and we are rolling a little bit, I think. That was big. That was a lot of information. This can't be a 5 anymore, so this can't be an 8. 5, 8 are eliminated. Alright, so there might be similar logic, maybe not. 9 and 10 are less interesting, I think. Yeah, we don't really have any digits in this column yet, so that might not be as cool. All right, 1, 1. One of these is going to have to be a 1. It's going to have to be one of these two. One of these is going to have to be a 1, but that's not narrowed down at all. Alright, yeah, let's try to do some Sudoku. These 9s and 10s I don't think are helping at all. Alright, so yeah, let's see what we can find for Sudoku. So 2s. Are 2s interesting at all? 2s look like they might be interesting. This is a 2. Awesome. Alright, so we got a 2. One of these is going to have to be a 2. Not going to mark that. One of these two boxes has to be a 2 as well. Okay, so honestly more out of the 2s than I was anticipating, which I'm happy about. Alright, we've done a lot with 3s, but yeah, I think everything we can do with 3s is filled out. Did I check 1s? I think everything for 1s and 3s is done. 4s, looks like a lot of information for 4s. One of these two is going to have to be a 4. This is a 4. Awesome. One of these two is a 4, so this is a 1-4 pair. And then I think that's it. For 4s, what do we have for 5s? Alright, one of these two has to be a 5. What was I just looking at? Wait a second. Oh wow, okay, so this is forced. This is a 5. Awesome. Now this is a 7. Ooh-wee. And then which makes this a 6 because they have to add up to 13. And now we have 2 clues. We have our A and B clues. So 6 and 7 have to add up to 5. So this is a 2. Awesome. Now this is not a 2. Now this is a 6 because they have to add up to 9. Okay. Really making some progress here. Loving this. Feeling the vibe. 5, 5, 5. One of these two has to be a 5. Alright, one of these 3 has to be a 5. Alright, 6s. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 6. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 6. Everything's just looking at the center box for this one. Alright, 6s. I think that's probably it for 6s. Alright, 7s. One of these 2 boxes is going to have to be a 7. These 2 is going to have to be a 7. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 7. Pencil markings are getting crazy. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 7. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 7. One of these 2 is going to have to be a 7. That must do. Yes. Okay, so this thing did this one. So now this has to be a 7. Did it do anything else? Probably not. Okay. But pretty much everything is pencil marked. Alright, so 8s. No 8s in the puzzle yet. Just this 8-9 pair. How about 9s? One of these 2 has to be a 9. Alright, so maybe I can do some things now. Is there anything I can do with the... So, I haven't touched this at all. Alright, so the 10 can't be 3, 7 unless it's these two. Wait. Does that work? No. Those numbers are too big. 9 and 6. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what these... So, what could these two numbers possibly be? Is it possible, so they have to add up to 9. Is it possible for it to be 4, 5? Well, it looks like a 4 could go here, and a 5 could go here. So 4 and 5. If it was 4 and 5, we'd be adding these two numbers. This would have to be a 7. That's not going to work. 4 and 5 are not possible, which means this can't be a 4, which means this has to be a 4. Interesting logic there. Let me run that back one more time. All right, so I had a, let me just take this 4. Let's go back to, all right, pencil mark this. So I knew that one of these two has to be a 4. I was wondering if these two boxes could be 4 or 5. This box definitely can't be a 4. This box could be a 4, right? I think, for as far as logic goes, this could be a 4, this could be a 5. If these were 4, 5, then the 4th and the 5th box would have to add up to I guess the fourth and the fifth. Oh, wait. I was counting wrong. I think I was wrong there. I'm glad I went to go over this. Yeah, this could be 1, 9. So I was thinking these two were the fourth and fifth boxes. And the 3 couldn't be involved because then it would have to have a 7 next to it. But it's actually these two. So 1 and 9 are possible. So this could still be 4, 5. I almost made a bad assumption there. Should I test anything else? So we have a 3 and a 7 in the column. So this can't be 3, 3, 6 or 2, 7 or 1, 8. So it actually might have to be 4, 5. It can't be 1, 2 or 3. Yeah. It's going to have to be 4, 5. So this is definitely a 4. So I was completely wrong about that, and I would have broken the entire puzzle. So because this couldn't be a 4, so this had to be, which means this has to be a 5. And now the fourth and the fifth box add up to 10. Fourth and the fifth boxes are right here. It's a 1 and a 9, which makes this a 2 because I just had a 2 pair there, which makes this a 7, which makes this an 8, and we are rolling. All right, that makes this a 7. This is not okay. So these two numbers have to add up to 10, and we have a 3 and a 7 possibility. The other alternative, I don't know. I can probably figure out some more stuff over here. I'm just going to do that. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need an 8, 9. This is going to have to be a 9. This is going to be an 8. Okay. So these columns are basically finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has got to be an 8 probably. All right, we got a 6, and what else do we have? 1 and a 2. We need a 2. Oh, this is a 9 pair. This is going to be a 9. This is going to be a 5. This can't be a 9 anymore. All right, so 6 and a 2. 6 and a 2. Any 2s? There is a 2 right here. I was looking everywhere but right there. So that's a 2, that's a 6. And the whole left side is done. Awesome. So this 9, this is going to have to be a 9. This is going to be an 8. I feel like this box is going to be interesting. 7. Okay, only 2 boxes in this row. Let's do that. We need a 2 and an 8. There's a 2 there. We're going to have a 2 here, 8 here. This box is decided as a 6. This one is a 9. These two, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a 6 and an 8. I've decided there's a 6 here, so the 6 goes here. Got an 8. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 2 boxes here. We need a 1 still. 1 and a 4. 1, 4. We got a 1, 4 pair down here. That sucks. All right, so this is a 1, 4 pair. This number is either a 7 or an 8, right? There's an 8 here. This is going to have to be an 8. This is a 7, which means this has to be a 7, which means this has to be a 3 because of the sum here. Which means that 7 and 3 have to add up to 9, so it has to be this one, the 3rd box, and the 7th box, which is here. 3rd box, 7th box. This can't be a 7. This is going to have to be a 7. This is going to have to be a 3. 3rd box, 7th box. Have to add up to 9. So if this was a 4, this would have to be a 5. It looks like that's very possible. If this was a 1, this would have to be an 8. That's also possible. That's wild. So either 1 or 4 are both possible. But this is definitely, I mean, both these two have to be 5 or 8, right? That's wild. It's crazy that they both work. Very insane to me. All right, so I think this is a 1-2 pair here. There's a 2 here. This is going to have to be a 2. This is a 1. Okay. Seems like we're really coming down to it here. What's this 6 floating around? Yeah, that's got to be a 6. All right. This has to be a 5, which fixes this. Perfect. Okay. So 8, 5 makes this a 4, makes this a 1, makes this a 1, makes this a 4, makes this a 9, I think. Makes this a 6, 8. This is an 8. This is a 6. And that is correct. Very cool. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.